Our interview segments are brought to you by Marcus and Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Veterans Providers Group is joining us this morning, and I believe we have Al Lockard on line 2. Al, you there?
I am here.
All right, and do we still have Diane on line 1?
I'm here. Good morning, Al.
Good morning.
We made it. Okay, good. Last time I tried to conference calls in, it didn't quite work. I got it right this time. Well, it's Diane Overman joining us on line 1, Al Lockard on line 2, and we're both glad, and we're glad here to have you both with us here on Indiana in the Morning to talk about what's the latest goings on with the Veterans Providers Group in Indiana County. So maybe, Diane, just for people who aren't familiar with the group, maybe you can give us a brief overview of what the group does.
Sure. We're a group in Indiana County that brings together anybody that works with veterans in terms of housing, medical, employment, education, and we meet on a monthly basis to coordinate those services. And, of course, Al is a big part of that group as the director here of the VA office here in Indiana County. So today we'll be meeting at 1 o'clock. We always meet on the third Wednesday. Right now we still are meeting virtually, but we are looking pretty much sure that we're going to meet next month in person, go back to that, because that, of course, is more ideal than doing virtually. Mm-hmm. So we'll be meeting this afternoon. We'll be talking about some things that are coming up, some big events that are going to be happening for veterans. This Saturday is the Military Veteran Outdoors Picnic. MVO is a big part of our group. This is one of their main fundraisers that they have for their year. That is that beautiful property up in Jefferson County, 700 plus acres, that's open to veterans and their families to use really at their leisure. It's a beautiful piece of property. We've been up there to visit. So they'll be having their picnic on Saturday. That is their gun raffle, which is their main fundraiser. And then the following weekend on the 28th, we'll be having our big Warriors rock concert. I think Kim Rakan joined you last week to share some information about what that is about.
I do remember her coming on the show, yeah.
Right. It's a concert that really just honors our veterans. They've chosen some veterans in our community and have done like many documentaries on them that they'll be sharing with the audience that night. And then it's just a very patriotic concert that honors the veterans and then plays a lot of music that's requested by those veterans and the connection that music has to their service. So if you're interested in tickets, you can check with Bill Staphen, which is 724-422-3339. You can contact Kim Rakan directly at 412-401-1044, and that is going to be held at the Kovalchik Center at the Toretti Auditorium, and you can also go to that site to get tickets also.
All right.
All those proceeds will stay right here in this county. They will go to organizations that belong to the Veteran Providers Group that work directly with veterans within our county. So that's going to be a great event too. Mm-hmm. So,
obviously one of those organizations that helps out veterans is the Indiana County VA. And Mr. Lockard, you are the director of Indiana County VA, and I imagine that things have been pretty stressful over the last 18 or so months with the coronavirus pandemic from the VA's point of view in serving the veterans.
Yeah, it's posed its own challenges, of course, Josh, but we've managed, through the efforts of the courthouse and the VA, we've managed to keep the available programs that were out there for the veterans to use. They really haven't skipped a beat. There may have been some inconveniences as far as times waited for appointments and things of this nature, but we've still managed to provide the resources that the veterans have needed. Over the past few years, I've been actually now in the Veterans Office here for almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years next week. But
wow.
And looking back at the changes that have been made in the VA programs, it's pretty pretty unreal, some of the things that they're looking to do for the betterment of the veterans and the veteran communities.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things, if I could, Josh, I wanted to touch on was the fact that, just on August the 2nd, the VA is starting to process disability claims for certain conditions related to particular matters. And these are new matters that have come up, and actually they're presumptives that have to do with our veterans from Iraq, Afghanistan. And when we talk about Iraq and Afghanistan, we're also talking about, Uzbekistan and Syria.
Yeah.
And, so there's different areas that are covered here, not just Iraq and Afghanistan. But a lot of that has to do with the burn pits and, the pollution that had caused and the problems that's causing our veterans as far as upper respiratory issue, rhinosinusitis, and things of this nature.
Yeah, you mentioned burn pits, and I immediately started to think about respiratory problems because that put a lot of pollution into a lot of soldiers' lungs.
It did, and we're talking about things like chronic asthma, rhinosinusitis, sinusitis, for those veterans that served overseas. And there are some other different things that they're looking into, but they've actually started to process claims for veterans that have been affected by those things. And I know this comes as it had been for years a great concern for veterans who served overseas. I mean, you think back on it; it's been over 20 years now that we've been in country over there, and so there's a lot of veterans that have dealt with this problem or issue for well over 20 years now. And what I would say to them is, if they have any concerns or they had just any questions in general about these things, please don't hesitate to call the office up here.
With a lot of the news focused on that region now, and with troops being pulled out, and we're seeing a lot of things going on, have you seen an uptick, I guess, in either in the county area, or maybe if you've heard from other Veterans Affairs offices, have you seen an uptick in activity and maybe some of the younger veterans taking advantage of these services?
I guess in general, from the general aspect of it, I would say to you, yeah, it has been busier here than ever. We are seeing a lot of veterans coming in, but we're still servicing those individuals from, the Vietnam era. And believe it or not, still with Korea and World War II, we do still have, quite a few of those individuals with us. And very pleased that they are still with us, and if they have needs as well, we'd be more than happy to help them.
We're talking this morning with Al Lockard, the Indiana County VA Director, and we're also talking with Diane Overman, Veteran Outreach Coordinator with the Indiana County Department of Human Services. So, Diane, let's talk about things that have been going. You talked about some of the fundraisers that have been going on and some of the services that have been provided by the Veteran Providers Group. But I'm also right now surfing your Facebook page, and you've been able to get a lot of information out on Facebook and social media. That's been a new tool, well, not a new tool, but it's been an important tool for the work that the Veterans Providers Group does.
Yeah, that's one of the best avenues that we have to get information to veterans in a very quick manner, and keep pumping that page with all kind of information. One of the unique things about this group is we probably have close to 60 members that belong to the group. But, when someone has a veteran that they're working with, when I came in this morning, I had a phone call from Soldier On with one of our partners that is working with 3 veterans here in our county. So we can talk about that at the meeting today, but, at any point I can throw a situation out to the group, and instantly we'll have, some resources that will help that person. So we're really fortunate to have this in this county, to have such a passionate group that is really connected and willing to meet on a monthly basis, because all of our schedules are extremely busy. But people take time. These people that work with the veterans, and many of them are veterans themselves, like Al. That take time and make it a priority to come to these meetings and to organize and to collectively help these veterans that need help. So we're very fortunate here in Indiana County. We're very fortunate to have Al, let me tell you.
Yeah, Alan. So Al, may I ask where you served and when you served?
Well, I did 24 years in the Army. It's just one of those all over the place kind of things. I spent the last few years of my career actually with the Pennsylvania Army National Guard. I was an AGR soldier, so I was still on active duty in support of the Army, in support of the Pennsylvania Army National Guard.
Mm-hmm.
But it's as Diane mentioned, I got to tell you that she certainly doesn't do herself enough justice in explaining the Veterans Provider Group and the fact that, she's the one that her and a few others are the ones that put this program together. And what you don't see from this is oftentimes we have individuals in the community and outside of the community that just happen to fall on hard times, veterans that need that extra, leg up, so to speak. And it is through that group that a lot of us get together and do these round table things, once a month, and we're able to identify those individuals. Indiana County, and I have said this numerous times recently at the Flight of the Flags that we had at the airport, Indiana County is one of only 4 counties in the state of Pennsylvania that it was recently recognized as being able to eradicate homeless veterans. You remember seeing that?
Yeah, okay. I do remember seeing that. I remember covering it, and we did a quick interview with the people who made that study. And I think that's a very impressive accomplishment as well, that Indiana County is so focused on the problems of veterans that they're able to essentially eliminate one of the big ones, and that's being homelessness.
Correct. It's probably doesn't fall short on anybody's eyes or ears when you watch the TV. You see that quite often comes up. How do we allow these veterans to go? They go off to combat and they come home homeless.
Mm-hmm.
And the answer to that is to do what Indiana County has done, and a few other counties in the state of Pennsylvania, and that is you have to be directly involved. And organizations like the Veterans Provider Group that do these roundtable discussions every month to identify our strengths and weaknesses within the county has been able to help this county do what it has done in such a unremarkable fashion to help those veterans in need. And, I help chair a nonprofit organization here in the county with the assistance of InFirst Bank, and we've extended that not just in Indiana County. We've actually reached outside of the county, and we went to Western Pennsylvania, and it's called the Western Pennsylvania Veterans Relief Fund.
Mm-hmm.
And through that, over the past 5 years, we've been able to give and help and support veterans in need of things like their electric bill being paid. If they don't pay their electric bill, there's a chance they're homeless. If they don't pay their water bill, there's a chance they're homeless. So we've helped them do that. We've helped pay taxes and various other things. So it's just a community grassroots get involved. And it's been wonderful, and I applaud the work that the Veterans Provider Group has done over the years with this.
Well, we applaud everything that you and I believe it's Linda and Marie over at the Veterans Affairs Office do as well.
Oh, yes, Linda and Marie. Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. We wanted to make sure that they also got their due, too.
Yeah, I might even get some baked goods tomorrow for that.
That was not my plan.
Josh, I do want to mention also that we will have a table at the fair this year with lots of information from our partners that belong to the group and information from the VA office and the VA in Altoona. So please stop by, look at the table. There'll be lots of information there for veterans and their families.
Excellent. We're just about out of time, but again, thank you both very much for joining us. We're right at the top of the hour, so we got to get going. Thanks again.
Yep.
We could talk about this for an hour, I could think. Thanks again. This is Indiana in the Morning, presented by First Commonwealth Bank on the Voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160. Our time is 9 o'clock.